Good evening, people. Hopefully everything works out better this time than what it did the last time. So basically, we do got one guest for tonight, and basically that is Ryan Hughes from Hughesman. So Ryan's got a channel. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not. Basically, he does HVAC stuff just like all of us, and basically figure we bring him on and just do a little bit of an interview thing and just shoot the breeze. What's up, man? Okay, now we're hearing perfect. All right, good.
Oh,
fixed.
Awesome.
It's all better now. Now,
No,
if you guys
it
can
was-
just donate your money to my P.O. box.
It was the Dixies, someone said.
The Dixie?
The Dixies.
Yeah, the Dixie Chicks. Yeah.
The
No.
Dixie.
I don't know. Hell.
They're
You guys
just
know the song?
they're just the chicks now. Remember
There's
they dropped Dixie supposedly.
Now they're just chicks?
They're just
That sounds
chicks.
sexist. I mean,
It is quite controversial.
I know. How dare them? Just chicks.
Yeah. I mean,
Ugh.
sexist. You know.
Oh, sexist.
But they're
Poor-
Karens, so I mean, you know, it's all
Lots of
okay.
Karens.
Oh, man.
So you know,
Anyway.
so I worked for a Linux dealer too in the beginning. So no wonder we must have a little something in common. So you learn how to fix all their screw ups. So that helps.
I like Linux. The Linux L series rooftop units are one of my favorites to work on. They've got little stickers telling you what all the parts are.
Yeah, I mean, people are too cheap to buy them around here. So I mean, everything around here is either Train or Carrier. That's the most common ones.
Oh yeah, I work a lot on Train and a lot on Carrier.
Yeah, those are the main ones for us. And you know, and then I think a thing too on like some of the stuff I catch on like my video, they were like, "Well, why did you replace the coil?" And it's like, I have no choice. We quoted them replacing it. Now, granted, this same company, and I can't disclose too much about them because you know I'm trying to keep things private. Just spent a crap load of money on us with another one of their businesses that you know they probably sunk $25,000, $35,000 into a massive zoned package unit. And so, I mean, they're remodeling several different businesses. So to spend a crap load of money on a unit that's for the basement, I mean, I'm surprised they even spent the money on that. Because, I mean, in all reality, I mean, they didn't even need it for the most part. I mean, they wanted it, you know, maintained, but the person we deal with from that company knows the HVAC and stuff like that. I mean, he's not... you know, doing everything obviously because he hires us, but he understands what's going on. That's their decision, so that's what they want. So
You're exactly right too. We have a particular client in one store. Every year we do so much work. They could have had new units 3 times over.
yeah,
At this point.
Yeah.
But you give your suggestions and it goes off, and next thing you know, you're like, really?
yeah,
We're fixing that.
pretty much.
But hey, you know, it is what it is. So you're exactly right there.
Yeah,
You can only make your recommendation and what you know, and you know it's right. But they judge it on I don't know how they judge it, but someone's judging it, and it usually isn't the way I would do it.
yeah, and you know, and honestly, why do we care? I mean, we're getting paid to do it either way. We should be just, you know, feel fortunate that we got work to do. Because, I mean, I don't know if anybody else out there kind of noticing it, but things could get really crappy, you know, this fall. I mean, we really don't know. Adam's coming here for long. I'm going to go ahead and go through with Ryan first. That way we can focus on him and his channel and stuff like that. I want to try to help out some of the up and coming channels, just like I was helped. And
Rick, that's awesome. I definitely appreciate
Sure.
you add me to the end of your videos.
yeah,
I'm a big fan. I feel like I'm the fan that got to get on the show.
I am
So I
nobody
definitely
special.
appreciate you having me on. I watch all the YouTubers. So if you guys know who I'm talking, you know who I'm talking about. There's all the different YouTubers.
Oh yeah, there's
They're
a lot
all-
of them.
I watch them all. But you're right, Rick. I mean, I'd rather them approve the work on the crappy units because I make more money fixing old units than I would if we replace them. And then what? We're just there to replace filters and belts.
Yeah.
And nothing really broke. So
Yeah, you'll just be doing a startup or something, you know?
Exactly.
So, I mean, and that's the way I look at it too, because are you up to no good, are you? No good.
Yeah, hit one of the welcomes.
All right.
Take your pick.
Do we want to do?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome contestant number 1.
Hi, Adam.
Rock on, Mr. Adam. How you be?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, I got to bring this up. Here, try it again. Go ahead and talk.
Hello.
Yep.
There you are.
I brought down the computer volume because we were having all the issues we were having. So cool. But yeah, we were just finishing here with Ryan and stuff. So
Oh, he can,
you know,
he can stay on.
yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Time.
Yep.
It's a shirt you sent me.
He's rocking out the shirt.
Sweet.
I got the same one. I'm still waiting for my hat, but yeah,
It's coming. It's got to get coronalized.
yeah. So jumping back to the channel and stuff. So you've got your. I'll put a link in this here for Ryan. Because I mean, he basically does the same stuff I do. You mainly do the commercial and residential both, just not a lot of refrigeration. Is that correct?
Very little. I do a lot of the Tralson reach-in freezers. I like those. I know those are my go-tos, but we got a couple of walk-in freezers. We have a few refrigeration restaurant accounts, but I'm not doing them day in and day out by any stretch. But
And I didn't do a lot of them prior to where I'm at now either. I mean, I took care of like a Taco Bell's and some Red Lobsters and some Bob Evans, and it was like once a week, maybe 2 or 3 a week, stuff like that. And then it just got, now I might do 4 or 5 of them a day. So, I mean, the experience level went way up.
no thanks.
Yeah, I like it. I've always liked I've always liked air conditioning, and I've always kind of wanted to get more into refrigeration. So, I mean, I love what I do. I mean, I feel guilty sometimes even getting paid, just to go play around all day.
And everyone that watches your videos can tell that you love what you do. So I definitely appreciate the videos you put out, Rick, along with all the other YouTubers. And I just want to thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. And I'm probably going to scoot off of here and let you get to the other guests.
Yeah, if you want to hang out, that's fine. If not, whatever, we can get, bounce things off of you. If you want to hang out, whatever.
Oh, no, I'll hang out. That's fine with me. I just...
They're saying echo.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah, the echo thing might be because I had to bring you up, but I don't know. Can you hear him okay, Adam? Is he coming through yours okay?
Yeah, I hear him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I wasn't sure how exactly I've never done what I'm doing right now, so I'm literally using the headphone jack, which sounds better than the Bluetooth option on the mixer. And that was one cool thing. It came with the upgrade from Rode. So this is the first time I've used it on a live show, actually in general at all. And man, this dog is snoring.
Cute.
What kind of microphones do you guys use?
I have a
Basically, and what sucks is, the one she's on right now is a Sennheiser 835. And so, I mean, like I've mentioned in the past, I do pro sound and stuff like that. And the one I'm on right now is an Audio-Technica 2030. But I've got Audio-Technica wireless mics. I mean, I've got like 4 or 5 of those. I've got Shure SM57, 58. I've got Mackie. I've got, Yorkville. I've got all kinds of different stuff. So, I mean,
play on an Audix. I have an Audix flute mic, and I think it sounds amazing for flute.
and
but
then
that doesn't help you for vocals.
And I've got a couple different mixers too. I mean, my one mixer is like a 18 channel, all USB driven by iPad mixer, so I can do live bands and stuff like that. So, and it'll actually multi-track, so I can record all the channels individually and then do a live mix. So, I mean, I've got some cool stuff. I mean, I thought about investing into like the one Adam's got right there. That seems to be a really super popular one. Or possibly I thought about going with the some more of the Rode stuff, because the Rode, what's kind of cool about it is it's actually made in-house and they don't farm anything out. So it's interesting to watch their video on how they build their stuff. The guy's really conceited, but I mean, he's put a lot of money into his company.
Mm-hmm.
I've toyed around with buying a microphone, but I never really had a need for it because I never did a live stream or was interacting with people over the computer, and any voiceovers I needed to do for any of the videos, I just used a recorder on the phone, and just uploaded it.
Yeah.
So I was just curious about what you would recommend for somebody to,
This mic here, I mean, they got a 2020, which you can get those for $100. This one here, I think, was normally like 140 to 160-ish area. Adam's mic's almost 400 to 450 something.
Do you recommend one that just plugs right into the computer, or something I would need to add into a board to mix it down a little
Depends
bit?
on what you want to do. I mean, if you want to keep it simple and just as simple as possible, and you're not into that kind of crap, I would go with the USB. If you're more into the pro side of things and you want it done right, I would go with an XLR, but now you got to have, a true mixer, possibly phantom power, stuff like that. So I just kind of took the plunge. I mean, I bought the freaking $600 Rode mixer because my guy at Sweetwater hooked me up and knocked a good chunk of change off because I've bought so much stuff from him. So, I didn't have, the only reason why I kind of thought, hey, I can make use of it is when I did that voiceover for the ultrasonic leak detector. That one there was probably one of my first voiceovers.
And that was a good video.
It turned out okay. I mean, it ain't got a crap load of video views yet, but, I gotta do the one for the Detect Select, not Select, Detect Stratus. I basically have been trying it out and using it in all different scenarios. I've been comparing it against the H10 and then against the Select, and they just came out with the newest Select. And honestly, I'm going to lean people towards the Select version of that because if you don't need the parts per million, it's not worth spending the extra money. Because that Stratus is $850, where the Select supposedly is going to sell for the same price that the old Select sold for, but you're going to gain more sensitivity, better battery life, faster charging. Overall, it's just a better detector. It can do CO2 if you buy the CO2 cartridge, and they're going to be coming out with a combustible sensor for it. So. It's all
funny
in the
too.
works.
That's funny too, because I just bought the H10, and every leak search I've done since has been with soap bubbles.
Yeah.
I pull it out for a minute, and I'm like, I just get the bubbles out and I end up finding it. But I'm hoping to use it on some of those Charleston reach-in freezers I was talking about, the low pressure stuff, where I'm looking for a leak there. But for the rooftop units, I mean, I just don't. I'm sure it will show its use.
Yeah, I mean, use it in manual mode. That's the biggest thing with it, and get your tick rate, tick, 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 tick. Yeah. And then, you want to use your most sensitive for that. Now, when you're on R22, you want to use the medium. But for any of the 400 refrigerants, any of those, you want to go with your most sensitive one on it, R34A, all that crap. All of that, you want your most sensitive one. What you're going to learn about it is you will pick up little tick, 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 tick. You won't get that with a digital detector like, the Stratus and stuff like that, because it's digital processing. It's all or nothing. Where the analog version of that H10, it slowly comes in, and you can make and decipher that there's something there. And once you learn the characteristics, and it takes some time to learn it, but you will find it to be probably one of the best ones. The biggest problem with the H10 is the battery life's a little short, and then it's just big and clumsy, and it can't get into tight places. But, I mean, I play around and go both back and forth.
Oh, and I'm gonna. But, when you pull that thing up, you're like, you know what? I just find this leak. And I just bought this expensive thing, and you want to use it. I did, But I was like, I might as well just pump it up with nitrogen and put soap bubbles on.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of luck with it.
With what? Soap bubbles?
Yeah, I always use it to confirm it, but I don't usually find a leak with it. I mean, especially if it's in a coil.
Yeah, I've never had it. I've had a leak detector here and there throughout my career, but I pump them up and I spray them down, the bubbles. Anyway,
that's where the ultrasonic comes in handy too for the 410 stuff. Standing pressure, you can just scan it and you'll hear the weird noises that it makes.
Yep.
What do you use, Adam?
I have an H Echo.
H10?
Echo. Yep.
I don't have no Echo. Are you getting an Echo?
Yeah.
Really? How about there? Try it now.
Wait, hold on.
Any Echo?
This.
That's with Ryan completely down.
Echo.
Right.
Echo. Yep. Yep.
You're still getting echo?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hearing it. I can turn my mix minus back on. It didn't seem to make a flipping difference either way. Go into advanced, go back into audio, processing. We'll turn mix minus back on. Does that make any difference there at all?
Let's see. Let's see. No.
Okay. I don't know what you're hearing. Anybody else hearing any echo that Adam's talking about?
That's weird. That's weird.
You don't have
I'm not.
You don't have two things open on your screen, do you?
Nope. It's
Okay.
only when you guys are not. Only
Yeah, there I'm hearing you cut out. That was weird.
Yes.
Would it be easier if I said my farewell to everybody for this evening and maybe bowed out of this session?
Yeah, we can always bring you
Things
back
up
in
on here.
again. You know, that way when we get things, we just need to start earlier and play with it more and kind of get it figured out. Cool.
Well, let me just say, Adam, pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
Rick, thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate your videos, and again, all the other YouTubers. I'm a big fan of all of them. And check me out sometime if you want. It's Hughesman HVAC on YouTube. Just your everyday guy making videos. So check me out, please.
Cool, man.
Rick, I appreciate it, guys.
I appreciate you coming in.
Yep, I'll see you.
right.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Catch
right.
you later.
Have a good one.
Yep. Bye-bye.
This is eerie.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird?
You guys do this by yourself. I'm not echoing anymore. You fixed it. Whatever you did.
Till I talk.
You just unplugged it and plugged it back in. That's what Bill
No.
does every single week with his microphone.
No, what I did is I disabled the audio processing, and since I probably don't need it because this mixer's got all that compression and everything built into it, that might have been it. It was probably trying to double it. It was probably trying to, because I mean, that's how it's getting away with not having the echo shit, is it's basically killing the volume level. And mine's probably automatically doing it, and it's doing it, and blah, blah, blah. I turned it off, and then that's probably what happened.
It's getting confused.
It's
I
real
might have
eerie
actually been
when
able-
when you're on, like I was in there and it was like what, 30 seconds or a minute when I'm by myself and I'm like, it's just thinking like, Chris, he sits in there for 2 hours and just like talks not to himself, obviously, but yeah.
In a way, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
odd.
And I guess I could have done it because I just did it now. I went into settings and was able to actually look at it. But as you've noticed with me, I don't stop talking. So unfortunately, it's not too hard.
Oh, well, someone said that Hillary and Joe Biden are watching it together in someone's basement. So we'll blame it on Hillary. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going with.
Yeah, but Adam's still alive, so I doubt it was Hillary.
That's true.
Yeah, it is what it is.
This job we did, it beat me up the last 2 days. I left my house at 6:30 in the morning yesterday and today, and didn't get back till like 6:30, almost, both days, 6:30 both days. So it was rough. Yesterday, I just have a new helper. I did 2 condensers and an air handler. The air handler sucked because I had to rebuild the plenum and do a takeoff on the plenum. So that was yesterday. And then today we did the air handler up in an attic, 3rd floor. We had to redo a bunch of ducting on both sides of it. But yeah, and it was hot today. It was like 90 some degrees. And then
It's hotter there than what it was here.
Yeah.
I think we were just we was about 88, I guess. Yeah, and like I said, I only had that one call earlier, which I am very surprised I haven't had more. Usually the grocery stores start calling like crazy, and then they'll end up calling because there's several different ones in their group, and gosh, you get pulled in all directions, and it's usually bad. Some of them have remote access, some of them don't. And it never fails. The rack that has issues is on one of the old systems where you can't remotely check it out. And then it's an old computer system that nobody really remembers how to do it unless they're in front of it and you're calling to find out how to do it. And then they get frustrated because they can't walk you through it. So, yeah, it's great. But
I saw you had, I didn't watch it yet, but I saw you posted a video about changing a trained condenser coil. They look like a big boy, huh?
that was 5 ton. It was funny, I posted it on HVAC Hub, and I really haven't done much research on that site. But I met some of the two biggest douchebags basically on there that, told me I had a pedophile van, had that I smashed all the fins down, and, just total derogatory, and it's like, you know what? I'm not doing this to brag or say, hey, I know everything. I'm doing it because if assholes like you don't help your helpers out and don't want to show the young guys how to do stuff because you're an arrogant prick.
Right. Well, here's the thing with those train condenser coils as well. Unless you have like 2 or 3 people, especially for a 5-ton or like an 18 SEER, whatever, 20 SEER, when you have these big monster coils, good luck not smashing something on it. You know what I mean? Good luck with that. It's like impossible unless you have, let's all pick it up with 2 fingers around the corners and then lay it down. It's not going to happen. Be realistic about it.
I went in. That's why when you watch me, I went in there like a forklift and lifted up my hands so that distributed the weight as much as possible. And I had the cardboard down underneath, and I had it on the sides. There was nothing hitting anything, and it's not like you're going to lose a million, BTUs of extraction there if one little piece is there. But like I told the one guy, I said it looks to me because he's like. He said something about it. I said, is that your assumption because it was laying on its side, or is that, you actually seen this? And he circled the thing and called me what kind of potato? Called me some sort of potato. I don't know, some numbnut potato or something. I don't know. It's just like it's like, I would never just, dude, you're a freaking idiot, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, is this how you treat people in person, or is you just like this on?
People are always tough on the internet. People are always tough on the internet, and they're couch warriors. They're the best at what they do. And the funny thing is, if you would go and see some of their work, you'd be like, "I'm getting criticized by this guy."
Mm-hmm. Come on. And if you look at his picture, he looks like Eddie Haskell. I mean, he just looks like the jerk. And it's like. He's like, well, I'm the guy everybody calls. And I'm thinking, are they calling you because you screwed the stuff up or what? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't get hassled very often. And I think people don't realize I enjoy it, to the point where, I'm not going to back down from it if I'm right. And so it's like, if you can't be in this field and be sensitive, and get hurt feelings, you'll never survive.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, like, who knows? Maybe that dude is some kind of crazy super tech, or maybe he's just like the best in his little, one HVAC company town that he lives in. But who really knows? You know what I mean? The thing with HVAC is there's always somebody better than you.
Absolutely. I thought I was really good until I came to where I'm at now, and I found out that. These guys have been working on stuff that I haven't ever even seen before. And that's why it's been like starting all over for the last 6 years, doing big stuff that how many grocery stores can you go to work on when they're doing them all? You ain't going to get any, and same thing with the industrial processing and the chillers and stuff that we're doing, some of this stuff is one of a kind stuff. I mean, and then we actually got a couple ammonia systems that are like, even our top guy is like a little bit leery about wanting to mess with. So, I mean, you think you're great until you really meet some people that really know their stuff, and there's always going to be somebody better. Definitely somebody better.
That's why I like YouTube, because you always learn. HVAC, you learn something new all the time. You know what I mean? You always find something new. And it's great to broaden your horizons if possible, and you see some cool stuff. And somebody posted in the chat earlier that where's Joe and Adam? They like to stroke each other's egos. I don't think I usually make fun of Joe. I'm not sure how I stroke his ego, but I'm going to do it right now because Joe works on some cool shit and he posts some cool videos. When he's doing his like dehumidification, the big commercial stuff. But yeah, I usually make fun of Joe.
Yeah, and it's kind of fascinating because I'm surprised they even had electricity up there in Canada. I mean, it's always kind of interesting to see that sort of thing.
Exactly. They rode around with their red jackets and their on top of their moose.
The county mounties,
drinking maple syrup out of barrels around the St. Bernard necks.
For real,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm back before you needed a passport to get up there. We went up there and for a bachelor party, and we ran into a bunch of Canadians and stuff. They like to party, they like to drink, and they were all pretty friendly. I mean, I'm sure it's not like that everywhere, but I had fun while I was up there and stuff like that. So
Because when I first met Joe, he was like the nicest laid back person ever, and we're like, Joe, people are gonna roll over you, and we were like, you need to toughen up a little bit, and now we're like, he turned into a little bit of a dick. You know?
No.
He's always been nice to me, though. He's always asked questions.
He's like, we're like, we've kind of Americanized you. We've ruined you. You've been socializing with Americans a little bit too much. The nice guy Canadian thing is, it's kind of out of your system.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, it definitely, you hear it all the time. You Americans think you own everything, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, are we really that bad?
Probably.
But
So did you and Joe meet each other on Overtime?
No, John Israel on his channel.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys all hang out back there on that thing?
Yeah, it was weird. I think we both went on the same night for the first time. Like John was like, if anyone wants to come in, and they were talking about, I've told the story before, but they were talking about, what were they talking about? They were talking about something on a train furnace. And they were incorrect about how to set it up. And I called them out on it. And they said I was wrong. And I'm like, no, 100%. And they're like, why don't you come in here and tell it, explain it to us. So I did. And they're like, oh. And then he started inviting me back. And that's how we started hanging out with John Israel. And that's how I met Joe that night.
That's cool.
And he's stuck to me like herpes ever since.
The gift you can't give back. Yeah.
But you can share it with others.
And honestly, I never watched anything that had anything to do, other than Raritan, I didn't watch any videos that had anything to do with residential because I felt like there was nothing new to learn. But when I started watching, it was more for refrigeration videos. So that's why I kept watching those, because I wanted to learn some, new ways of doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only ones I was watching. And when I first seen, you guys probably, I don't know how long ago, but it was like, what the heck's this, But eventually you get hooked and you kind of get addicted to it. Because, at first I thought it was stupid. And then it was like, this, the next thing you know, here you are doing it. So,
yeah, I kind of watched everyone from way back, but I never commented. I never went into the live chat or anything. But like Dr. Z, Gray Furnace Man, Raritan, John Israel, Zach, like everyone. And then, I don't know. But we don't. Obviously we don't try to be like Chris. Chris is like smart. He tries to give out his knowledge and everything. I think we give out little bursts of knowledge, and then the rest of it is like BS and commentary, So.
But it's some place to kind of just chill out and hang out. The Hangout is really the best description, I think, for it. And then you just stumble across things. I
think that was what the best part about why we hung out. I did John's shows on the weekends because, I grew up with a group of guys, and everyone kind of went their own ways. And you always look for somebody to talk to about HVAC, like you come home to your wife or whatever. And I've always tried to talk to my wife. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care, So it's cool to like sit down and be able to BS with guys that go through the same daily grind as you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because until I got into some of the things that I haven't done, I really didn't have too many problems. When you're working on the same equipment all the time, like the Linux stuff with we sold Carrier and Linux both, but eventually you learn what they do wrong, and you can walk in and you knew that it was a pressure switch problem, or you knew that it was the igniter out, or you knew that the installer probably blocked off the right side of the end coil. It was the same stupid mistakes done over and over, and generally you could walk in and out. On call, I was usually done with a call in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Now it's not like that. So, yeah.
That's why I like residential, because a lot of times it is 20 or 30 minutes. And if you run into a call that lasts a few hours, an hour, 2 hours or whatever, it's like, I don't know. It's just draining. You're like, what the heck? I'm just stuck at this house,
Yeah. Absolutely. Like that grocery store I got stuck on. It was 6 hours I was there.
I like a change of scenery.
And I like moving around. I mean, because I do a lot of residential still. We had three of us that would basically do the residential. Some of our other guys will not go on residential at all. They absolutely refuse to do it. They don't like dealing with a homeowner. They don't like dealing with, collecting if they have to collect. They can't stand the helicopters, things like that. Me, I don't mind talking to the people. It's not a big deal. But so the one guy that was with us, he left the company, and so now I'm doing more of them. But because I do the ice cream and stuff like that, I still don't have to do as many. But like before I came here, I never did geothermal hardly at all. And before you knew it, I got pretty good at it because they sold a lot of high end stuff, and it was all geothermal.
What brand?
In the beginning days before we merged, because we're technically like 4, 5, 6 companies all together. They used to sell water furnace. That was before I came along, but now it's Carrier. And Carrier basically had Climate Master at first, and they bought Florida Heat Pump, and then now they make it themselves. But yeah, it's all the same stuff. I mean, for the most part. So coaxial coil and air to air and air to water. I mean, but if you live in town, I mean, you're probably not ever going to see that stuff because you got natural gas available, and it's not going to be economical. I mean, even with the company I was at before, we were kind of cheap. They'd be $20,000 to $23,000 installed, and here it's probably a little bit more, not much, but a little more. But could you imagine spending that on something when you got a natural gas furnace? It just I can see why a lot of these people, especially if you're down south, there's no reason to have it because the air temperatures aren't cold enough for it. And, depending on the terrain, whether it's rocky, that's, I think, the biggest thing I learned by doing these videos is so many things that are different all over the country.
Yeah. Echo.
Really?
What happened? What'd you change?
I have no idea. I didn't do crap. Maybe it's your board. It needs an update. Might have Corona.
Echo. All right, I'm going to try to go out one time and come back in.
Okay. If not, we'll wrap this thing up, whichever.
Hello?
Do.
Really weird. Don't know why we're having so many technical difficulties.
I don't know. It's not meant to be. This is why,
Hello?
Yes.
No. Yep.
That is weird.
I know if I talk the same time as you, it'll do it. But if I don't talk, it was okay before. Here, I'm gonna mute me and her.
Hello? Still echoing. What's going on here?
I had them both muted there.
So weird. And you didn't change one setting while we were sitting there talking.
Oh
No.
no, not at all.
Like the echo of an echo of an echo. It just got serious, whatever you just did.
Oh, residential wants to hear Chloe's cute little snort. She's still going to town.
She quit.
Of course. I mean, seriously, how cute is that?
Yeah, it's great. I'm sure everybody loved that.
Hey, at least it's not the other end.
As we dive off from 39 to 36 to...
At least it's not the other end.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't be good.
Some dog farts, and her farts are so bad too.
That'd be the highlight of the discussions. There we go. Well, we're coming in, at an hour and 1 minute. So I don't want to do the 2-hour thing like I did last time because it never gets viewed. You look at it and it's like they hung in there for 12 minutes for the 2 hours you were on. It's like,
But you know what? We did make residential basics. He's quite pleased with Chloe's snorts. So you're welcome.
no problem. I'm about ready to let her go walk around and stretch her legs out.
And Adam, I had some really awesome memes, some HVAC memes that I found today. And I thought we could share them and laugh and discuss because, we just need a little bit of laughter right now. But I don't know how to do that in StreamYard. I thought I could just, bring them up and like import them in, but I would have to do a screen share and it won't let me do that. So maybe next time.
You said you do both. What do you use StreamYard for?
Just like capturing all the guys, which I'm trying to. We tried like 20 minutes before yesterday to switch over to Skype and use OBS and NDI, but it wasn't working right. So I need to try probably slightly longer, prior to 20 minutes before the show.
Have you seen the one guy that's he's actually don't have a crap load of subscribers, but he's showed how to do multiple people in there with the OBS. And I don't think he used Skype. He might have, but
well, no, I use OBS right now. I'm just trying to do it because right now it just kind of goes in and I could add people, subtract people. That's all fine, but it's all like on one channel, one volume, everything else.
Oh.
I use Skype and NDI. I had like a mixer and I could turn up, down, or mute anyone separately and individually and bring them in individually. So
Chloe went's back in the live stream. You could just barely see her. Apparently she likes the attention.
Yeah. The other two dogs, they're just chilling out upstairs, probably eating.
You know what we could do is we should like get another camera set up to have the pug cam. We could go live to the pugs.
People love that.
I'm sure they would.
Oh, yeah.
Yama would. Yama be all over the pug cam.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm just trying to, look out for the needs of your viewers.
Hey, look at that. There's the curious man. The curious married man.
What's up, Curious?
Hey, Bill.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Yeah. Word. Basic says his dog's the same name.
Oh.
So, you don't know how to share the screen thing, Adam, then on StreamYard?
I mean, I know how to share a screen. I mean, if you want to send it to me, you guys you can't do it. I could do it.
I don't know if she's even tried.
Well, I know I can share a screen, but then I have to completely get out of, I have to minimize StreamYard, which that's not a big deal because we're all in here now.
If you want to send them to me, I could do it.
So, well, I can actually, I'll just do my screen share and I will, because I didn't show any of these to Rick because it's a surprise. I went rogue.
Sounds sweet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I found some really good stuff here. So,
is that even showing it? Can you see that, Adam?
Yep.
Yeah.
With Donald?
Yep.
I mean, seriously, it's going to be great. It's going to be terrific.
Hopefully.
I mean, who doesn't like Donald? Well, a lot of people don't like Donald, but it's a meme, and we're going to fix we're just going to fix HVAC. We're going to make HVAC terrific again. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change the filters.
I hope so.
I
My wife
mean,
doesn't like Donald Trump. I'm on the fence. I think he does some good stuff, and I also think that he talks out of his ass. But
yeah.
True.
It's so basic, which is just blows me away that he's so rich. I don't know if he's talking simple because it pays off for people or what, but I can't figure out why exactly he talks so basic on stuff. I mean, they're such simple words. Nothing's complex. Don't make sense.
Probably because they teach you to only talk at a certain, grade level.
But it's so low.
Well, I understand, but he's wanting to get all the votes.
Being as everybody hates him in government makes me think he's probably the right guy for the job.
that his press secretary, that Kayleigh McEnany, she's like
The hot thing?
and she's a loaded gun, man. Somebody throws something at her and she like turns 2 pages and she's like, well, actually in 1993, blah blah. And I'm like, wow, I don't understand how you pull this crap off like out of your butt within 2 seconds every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
well,
amazing.
You figure he wanted somebody smart and pretty, and she probably has a super good memory. So that probably costed him extra money. And I mean, there's always somebody out there's got a photographic memory, and maybe she has that. Who knows?
Right.
Because, I mean, look at, everybody he's pretty much been with. They've all been fairly good looking.
Ready for the next one?
Sure.
The next devastation.
Come on.
See now. There we go. So misspelled. Customer wants maintenance annually. Not annually. They want maintenance annually. So let that be a public service message for everybody. Make sure you spell your work orders correctly.
My dad is awful at typing things in. I would say 1 out of every 4, he misspells the name, the address, or phone number, email, something.
Yeah, just showing up there.
So that's pretty funny. All right, you ready for the next casualty?
Sure.
Thoughts, questions, concerns?
I don't think that's how it should work, Chief. Yeah.
That's funny, right?
Refrigerators, correct me if I'm wrong, the way refrigerators work is the freezer, like, all right, so if a freezer is opened, the refrigerator is not going to work, right? Like the freezer is like the primary.
On a basic residential, a lot of times the freezer is the only evaporator, and then they'll channel it into.
Yeah, right.
Now, on the high end stuff, they can have 2 compressors, just like we'd normally have. But like mine, I think it's only got 1 evaporator because it only has 1 compressor, and it just channels it through, and you are adjusting a damper, basically.
I actually had a rental house that the lady she just left the freezer open because it was so hot. We didn't have air conditioning. And then she was complaining all of her food was getting ruined.
Imagine that.
Jeez.
Now, see, for us, when people have no heat on the not so great side of town, they'll open up their oven.
True story.
And they'll run their oven, electric oven, or even gas oven to heat the house.
Yeah. Oh.
And it works.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Ready?
Sure.
All right.
Nice.
When you come to fix a DIY project.
At least they mounted it, sort of. It's better than
what I've been seeing a lot lately is capacitors sitting in the cardboard boxes.
What?
Yeah, some
Explain.
half-assed people are using it as an insulator so it doesn't short into stuff.
They just put it in the box and set the box down.
I usually strapped it. I like plastic strap because it's non-conductive, but
I mean, plastic plumber strap, metal plumber strap, whatever you're going to use, who cares? Like, how hard is it to carry a little roll of strap and a few zip screws? Like, you don't even need it on your truck or you're in your bag. Leave it on your truck. You need a capacitor. Just grab a strip of it, right? Not hard. It's not rocket science. You have a drill. Come on, people. Get real.
Is that missing a ground? It looks like it's missing a ground.
Yeah, it is. It's deadly.
Only you would point that out.
Well,
Everybody else is
and
focused.
it's Romex, I believe, because it's black and white.
Well, no. It does have a ground. You could see it in the back.
split.
It's straight
Oh, okay.
copper ground.
It's still
there it
Romex,
is.
I believe. Yeah, because it's bare wire, so it's got to be Romex.
But still, that's fun right there.
Yep.
All right,
Got her
next
fixed.
next one. Your favorite.
Slime in the ice machine.
Yep, when Ghostbusters go HVAC. That could be a good video.
Yeah.
Or not.
I actually was starting on one that looked like it was going to take too long to edit, so I gave up and just stopped.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah. There's too much crap to cut. I mean, like that video that I did, it ends up being not even long enough to freaking make 11 minutes, and I had to have to add all the other crap at the end. That video was an hour long prior to that. So, I mean, I chopped that much crap out.
Honestly, that's kind of why I got sick of, like, I didn't do that many videos, but when I was doing them, it's like, you got to film it, and then sometimes something happens where you can't finish the video, so you got to start a new video somewhere. And then when you get home, it's like upload or download all the data on your computer and spend an hour or 2 hours editing everything and then post it and whatever. And it was like spending so much time on this crap, you know. And I know it can pay off because I have a few friends that it is paying off for, but I don't know. I just don't want to put in the time to get to that point, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been okay. I mean, I'm, $30 a videos on average what I'm making. So they don't quite offset the 3 or 4 hours when I could be out making $50+ an hour. So, I mean, but the money wasn't the real reason in the beginning. Now it just feels obligated. So, I mean, I don't know. It has its ups and downs. It was just like the live thing. I wasn't going to do it no more. And then she kind of said something about it. So here I am.
I'm addicted.
I don't understand. I mean, all of a sudden now she'll be like, overtime's on. I'm busy. And then she's watching it by herself.
I do.
I
She's
know.
watching
I've
these by
actually
herself.
I've noticed you commenting when Rick's not around.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I'm addicted.
She's watching you guys while I'm freaking going and doing something else.
And what's even worse is I actually comprehend and understand what you guys are talking about.
We
Which
usually
is
talk about nonsense, so
Well, I understand the sense and the nonsense.
Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
Sure. That right there is a G8. That's a Linux unit. I'm thinking I'm trying to remember the dang gas module because I used to have to work on those. They had a fuse inside of it.
Well, that's not
Honestly,
why.
I wouldn't want to work on that. I'd probably like give it like
I
5.
grew up on that furnace.
I'd give it like 5 or 10 minutes and be like, "You need a new one."
I would unhook that module on top and I put a Honeywell Universal, a direct spark ignition on there, and it worked just fine. And I would use the valve itself on the
I
bottom.
get criticized for doing that a lot. I've done that with some of those like mercury gas valves with like Wow McLean's and that, where you pop, because you can't replace the thermocouple on it, or it's super expensive. You could find it anywhere, and you just like hook it up as a standing pilot or whatever, and people are like, "You're putting yourself up
UL rating, blah blah blah, and you're gonna."
and you're gonna get sued and this and that." And it's like they make the same boiler. I'm doing nothing different than what they do. I don't know.
Yeah. People, I think, just like I was saying earlier on one of my videos, I mean, it's like, did I ask you to try to find out every flaw I made? I purposely a lot of times leave shit in there just so you know that I'm not faking it. I mean, I screwed up and put the filter dryer in backwards because I was worried about other crap. And I purposely left it in there. So that way people know, yeah, I make mistakes too. I've never ever said that, hey, I'm a god and you need to watch my shit because I'm showing you all you guys that don't know what you're doing how to do it right.
You're a super tech.
Yeah, I made the super tech. I am.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
That is funny because I do soldering all the time.
Yeah. Well, then you call it soft soldering versus just solder. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like braze. I'm a braze Nazi.
Mohammed, which is sensible heat and removing some humidity, which is latent heat. Sensible heat is the heat that you can feel. Latent heat is the heat you can't feel.
Think of it this way: sensible heat drops your thermostat, so it makes sense, right? That's the heat that makes sense to you. Latent heat doesn't make as much sense.
I like that.
Or if the one I kind of seen is when the coil, like say for the evaporator, for example, is changing state. It's when you change state but don't change temperature. So you could be 39 degrees at the top and 39 degrees at the bottom, but you change from a vapor to a liquid, or from a liquid to a vapor, or a saturated liquid to a vapor. So yeah, it's stuff like that. It's like I never claimed to be the Bergmans or the Bryans out there. I'm not that level, and that's not my thing. I mean, I just no nonsense. Get in, get it fixed, and let's go home and do it right.
You didn't answer his question correctly. He's saying, Muhammad.
I can't see the current thingamajig.
Which mean your 12,000 BTU will be shared between lowering temp and removing humidity. I don't know what that means.
Which mean?
Yes, most condensers or air conditioners do sensible and latent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what the point. There's
No poppy the gummy. Focus. Next meme.
Yeah.
This is for Joe, but he's not here.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And
I've been seeing that on Facebook too. 30-pound cylinder for $225. I'm like, that's cheaper than I can buy it. I think I might buy that.
or at the beginning it was masks. I have masks down here.
Yeah.
Like when we were all putting ours in brown paper sacks.
I'm still put off by my gray tank that I just picked up the other day, the first one.
I seen you posted that. I'm like, I heard it was coming. but we bought a crap load of it. I don't know how many pallets we bought.
It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I grew up on R22. It's just, I don't know. It's weird.
I remember when it was on sale at Sam's for $34 a jug,
You're old.
and the normal price was $55. That's mid 90s.
I remember when I was a kid. I mean, I was young as a kid, probably 10 or 11 years old, working with my dad, and I would help him, replace condensers or whatever in the summer and weekends. And I remember asking him how much is, because I would always associate things. That's how I memorize things, And I said, how much is a jug of R22? And he said 30 pounds or $30. And I said, well, how many pounds are in a jug? And he said 30 pounds. I'm like, 30 pounds, $30. It's easy to remember.
$1 a pound.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when, you just blew things out with it and whatever else.
Ready? Truth. Lots of truth here.
I like that.
Mhm.
So you want me to fix the AC that didn't put in because the price is too high? For me, I don't care. I'll take your money either way. The job's already lost, and you're now feeling like an idiot. So I will take your money. I won't cut you no break, though.
Yeah, but then it's fun when they complain about the price of you actually fixing what somebody else.
If I think I'm going to have an issue with them, I make doggone sure up front that you know exactly what it's going to be. And if this doesn't fix it, it could be more. So if you agree to that, then we'll do the repair. But there
And
may
it's
be
going to
more.
be painful.
Yeah. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt me.
A friend of mine owns he's actually a competitor in the same town.
Nice.
He owns another HVAC company, and he was called out to a house 3 years ago. A new system was installed. The air conditioning has never worked since it's been installed. He installed it right after he moved into the house. Guess what he found? No piston.
I had something similar to that on a walk-in cooler. You have the TXV, and then you'll have a restrictor basically in there. You got to put like an orifice in, and it never did quite hit the right superheat. And back then, I would not have known that you had to put it in there. And it wasn't until we tore out the coil that I found out that it wasn't in there. So I can see that. I've had that actually several times before, where it didn't have a piston at all, and you basically pump it down and unscrew that thing, and sure enough, it's missing.
I've found it with the wrong size. I can't fathom having any kind of experience and forgetting to put your piston in.
Well, they usually come with it in there.
Yeah, but like if you have, I don't know, any kind of coil that has like the O-ring, the Danfoss O-ring in it, you usually remove the O-ring when you're brazing it in, right?
The people that care.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the TXV bulbs that are getting fried because people braze on them without removing them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have so many Carrier for air conditioners that have like 1 and 3 degree superheat, and I know it's because the guy sat there and torched it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get in there and unhook that bulb. Ain't no way. Next.
Next.
There's nothing. Napkin, electrical tape plug. I've used super glue and I've used electrical tape. The napkin's getting a little fancy.
I've used PVC glue.
Ooh.
It hurts bad, let me tell you.
Yeah, you're a badass, man, if you can do that.
Oh.
Yeah, that hurts too much. I'll like hold it together and maybe drag some super glue across it. But electrical tape better.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Sure. You said the compressor had bad valves. Second opinion says you are correct. Ah. I would have rather heard that was a lie. That would have been more in line with his type of drama. Next.
Okay.
I feel like I've worked on that unit.
The dog's been peeing on it for the last 30 years.
That's like a typical Southside Chicago unit.
Is it?
Seriously. Somebody put the lid back on though. They don't leave it like that.
Looks upside down almost. Wow.
It's got some issues.
Yeah, they left a couple pieces of copper on the compressor though.
And there's a plastic putty knife inside.
Yeah.
To get the leaves out.
Look at that conduit coming down into that box on the left-hand side.
I'm pretty sure that's probably a Chicago picture.
Might be.
Oh, Joe was saying, he's like, I've never, he just ran into a unit that was stolen. He's like, I've never seen that before. Who steals units? I'm like, dude, it happens daily here.
It used to get big for a while there, and then it kind of died off. At least I don't hear about it now.
We would actually have to take pictures from these foreclosure jobs after we installed the condenser that was stolen to prove that we installed it, because it's going to be stolen the same night that we install the new one.
Nice. So they scheduled it ahead of time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's them being really sneaky, though.
Ready for the next one?
Sure. Yeah. I like my linesmans and my PVC cutters. Those fix those branches real quick.
You take care of that crazy bush.
Mm-hmm. I cut it and then I jam it underneath that little bush there on the left-hand side. They won't notice for a while.
Yeah, right.
The condensers we did yesterday were 30-year-old carriers, and they had ivy growing through them, and they were like thick ivy. We had to like rip them out. You know, it was crazy.
Have you had any of them get painted where they painted the coils?
No.
Yeah. Remember the old carriers? There's some carriers that had green coils on them.
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't know what happened. I thought somebody spray painted it, whatever. They got it thick enough that it ended up gooing it all together type deal.
It's just nonsense. You ready for the next casualty?
Sure. But you guys were just out here 6 years ago. I'd put dates on everything I do because of that very reason.
Yeah, they always say, you just installed this and 2 years ago and it stopped working. Then you look it up and it was like 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I feel 30 days is plenty for a repair, but we tend to try to give people a year, which I think is nuts. But
I honestly try to, like, even if I give somebody, whatever I give them, a 2-year warranty, a 5-year warranty, whatever it is, if it's like just out of the warranty and there's something like crazy going on or whatever, I still honor it. Even
yeah,
if,
you're talking like something new or something like that.
Yeah, something we installed.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you'll gain a customer there, and they're going to tell somebody else. That's the cheapest advertising. I mean, what are you out? $20, $30, $40. I mean, yeah. That, I used to write stuff off all the time when I used to do the invoices and stuff, and I would judge it. How long would it taken me? Is this person a little slower? Is it fair numbers? It was always writing stuff off and doing stuff like that. It just earns people's trust. Next. You're the third tech in and you successfully diagnose the problem. Who is that?
The funny thing is, when that happens, most of the time it's like something ridiculously stupid that's the problem. And you're like, what kind of freaking circus clowns have you had in here prior to me?
I always ask, was it us? That way I don't say nothing that, makes us look bad.
Yeah.
I've always learned to kind of figure out who it was that was there before.
That's what I had to offer tonight, guys.
Sweet.
How did you like that?
That was terrific. How many are we down to now? You're blocking it.
40. We went up. We're up to 47 to my shenanigans. You're welcome.
Making millions of dollars now.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to my creative shenanigans.
$100 bill, y'all.
So that was certainly fun.
For you kind of got it made. I'm wanting to go to this trade show thing coming up in January, but I'm real leery about buying a hotel now.
Why? Oh, just because you don't know if it's going to happen or not?
Yeah. If they're going to cancel it or whatever. Me and Curious was thinking about just staying in your garage or something.
I mean, the thing is, all the hotels, there's like several hotels right near McCormick Place, and they're going to be booked. They're definitely booked. But like, I don't know if you guys are going to drive, if you're going to get a rental car or whatever, but if you drive like towards the suburbs, like towards the direction of where I live, there's going to be a billion hotels that you could stay at, You don't need to
do it that far in advance.
Right.
Will there be parking nearby? Am I going to pay more in parking than if I would have just paid more for the hotel?
Well, I mean, do you care if you have to walk a little bit? Because everyone tries to park by McCormick Place, like in their parking facility and the different lots nearby. But if you would be willing to walk like a half mile, you could park no problem, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, I've walked downtown Chicago before from a Mobile Beat convention, and surprisingly didn't get shot or killed, but um, that was back in the early 2000s. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly where this thing is at.
It's not a bad area. It's not a bad area at all. It's right off the lake, and it's I don't know how to describe it to you. It's basically the very it's not really considered the loop. It's like South Loop kind of, it's like the edge of downtown, if you will. The south edge of downtown.
Well, it's just like New York. I mean, you heard the Bronx. Well, back in my day, the Bronx was a dive. Now it's high end. I mean, there's all kinds of. It was when I visited there. That was a treat. I mean, it was like, yeah, we're going to go to Manhattan. What state's that in? It's like I don't know where the hell this is at. Yeah, so Chicago, I don't. I've been through the middle of it. Through traffic, all the crap, but as far as knowing where everything's at, no, not real.
I mean, any one of you guys or anyone else on YouTube that wants to go to AHR that's nervous about going to Chicago, I mean, you're pretty much, if you just type into your GPS, the convention center, McCormick Place, where you're going to, you are not going to go through a bad neighborhood. Just because it's so close to the highway, it's impossible to go through a bad neighborhood to get there. And then if you want to stay at a hotel, I mean, there's so many hotels. You don't have to stay that, and even if you want to park your car and you could take an Uber to McCormick Place. What is an Uber going to cost you? $15? Is it worth, going through the hassle of whatever,
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to doing it because I can see people that we talk to online and stuff like that, and it's I can be there anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours. I can be in Chicago. So basically, for me, I hop on 30 and boom. I mean, I practically just drive it all the way over there.
So it's not like going through the slums to get to University of Chicago from the highway.
No, and it's funny because I work around the University of Chicago, like Hyde Park, and that is a super well-off neighborhood. But to get there, it's like encompassed by a bad neighborhood,
Yeah, because when my neurosurgeon's at University of Chicago Hospital, and just to get there, you're like, where are we going? And then bam, there's the hospital, and it's always been that way. It's always just
Cleveland Clinic's the same way.
Yeah, it is.
And you keep driving, and there's the block Obama lives on, and there's the block that Muhammad Ali used to live on, and there is Louis Farrakhan or whatever, and there's all these like predominant people that live in that area,
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't curious. I mean, heck, I can drive my Yukon. It don't matter. I ain't worried about it because a lot of times, I mean, I don't know, whatever. Unless you're afraid to rent it, so that you think it's going to get stolen or something. I mean, whatever. Don't matter to me.
Yeah, you can just big pimping all the way over.
Mm-hmm.
You can then park in the barn.
I will be wearing a mask at AHR though if it does happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it'll be optional. I think it's going to be mandatory. We've actually went to it now. We're now the whole. What's really bad is my county, which we're nothing big. We're actually supposedly now the worst in the whole freaking state. But we got a lot of stupid people here. So, from what I heard, one of the employees at a particular restaurant came in knowing she was sick and gave it to everybody in the whole restaurant.
But that's hearsay.
It may not be true, but it wouldn't surprise me the type of people there. So,
the EPA says that they don't think that AHR is happening. So if the EPA is saying that, then it must be true.
gotta be true.
How'd you get the EPA watching you?
I don't know.
Because he's making his videos, and whenever he shows that he's got to reclaim a little refrigerant, he presses pause.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise,
I always recover everything. The right thing to do for the environment so that our grandkids and our grandkids' grandkids can all have a future to prevent that global warming Then as we start to freeze to death, now it's climate change. Now we have global warming potential, and we have the potential for this, whatever. We ain't gonna
There's
go
always a
there.
potential for something.
There
Yeah.
was actually two people on Joe Rogan, Grant something, and somebody. I'm trying to remember the other guy's name. One of the episodes was number 606. I remember that, but they were showing that they don't think we're yes, we are having a cause in global warming, but like the Earth, they did like super deep drilling in like the ice caps and all that, and they see that it goes through cycles, and we've been here before, and there's been through way worse cycles than what we've been at, than what we are at right now. So
Maybe they unleashed the coronavirus from all that deep drilling.
Yeah, it's got to be it. It's dirty oil, dirty air, dirty water,
They brought it back up.
dirty Republicans. It's had been them. Oh, well.
But yeah, here in the county that we're in, so the state of Ohio has like a 4-level rating system, and it's based on by county, and you have to meet so many. There's 7 different criteria, and depending on how many of the criteria you meet for how many weeks on end, is by what level you are. And there's only 4 levels, and right now we're at DEFCON 3, which is red level, and the only other level, purple, is DEFCON 4. And we're the only county out of the 80 some counties that has a big black star over it now. That if we go an additional week, we've already met 6 out of the 7 indicators. And you can actually go to DEFCON 4 with having 6 out of 7 indicators met, providing that we stay at our current levels for an additional week. So if that's the case, I think that's like DEFCON 4 said something that it was like in an emergency. I forget exactly what they called it, but basically you weren't supposed to leave your house unless it was for emergency services or emergency supplies, which I don't see how the health department can mandate people to not leave their house. So I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know how any of this crap is going to be enforced at all. I mean, right now, it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and then they keep passing the buck just like they are on the Second Amendment stuff.
you have to admit, if you look at when the curve was steadily when we were all in lockdown, the curve was definitely going down. It was definitely going down. And then as soon as all these places started opening up again, it like spiked big time. And it was nice. I have to admit, it was very eerie going to work every morning and nobody being on the road,
Yeah, it is.
But now it feels like nothing. It's back to the old business as usual. You know what I mean? Like the traffic everywhere. And
I think the economy started to recover, and they don't want that. They want our economy to be in the dumps so that they can get him not elected again. I truly believe that's got a lot to do with it. Problem is, and then I was hearing, I forget who, where, or what, somebody was talking about not being able to get in parts and stuff for the equipment. I didn't know this, but have you heard that there's a square D breaker shortage?
no, but I've heard there's tons of everything else shortage. I know that.
Because I went to Lowe's, I had a disconnect. I think I recorded that. I might turn that into a freaking video too. Went there, they had one of those little 30 amp, 40, maybe it was a 50, no, I think it was 60 amp little square D double breaker disconnect type deal. The frame thingy's like $25, but they had no freaking, no breakers. They had maybe a couple single 10 or 15s or whatever. And she touched something.
I don't know what happened. Sorry. I was going to respawn cheese in the chat, and then all of everything disappeared. I saw Wisconsin, and I'm like, cheese. I love cheese. And then it just went downhill.
I got a friend in
Quickly.
Madison, Wisconsin. He was a DJ buddy of mine. And then now that I don't DJ, we still talk and stuff. But I noticed somebody said something about Madison. I've been all over Wisconsin for like Generac training and Kohler and all that crap. So that's a nice little area over there.
I'm gonna retire in Wisconsin.
It's a good little area. What's this down here, Hamilton? I swear to you guys, 3 weeks ago, I priced a radiator for my Sequinx, whatever. $89 today. It's 179. Well, don't get a man out of
Sequoia.
the hell's a Sequoia?
A man completely echo.
What?
No, you know Echo.
Hello?
Yeah,
Oh no.
you're fine.
Are you guys just sitting there playing with buttons, messing with me?
No.
She's probably doing something. I'm in front of a piece of trash computer that don't even do nothing. I mean, it's so far behind. I can't. I mean, basically, I'm just staring at a wall. I mean, I'm not even seeing it. I'm looking at an angle. I mean, the computer's way over there.
That's all I hear Adam when he talks.
My goal is I'm going to buy a shack on Green Lake, Wisconsin. That's my goal in the near future. And then when I retire, I'm going to knock it down and build a nicer house. Not a mansion, but a nicer house.
Are you in town or
Town?
in town? Are you in town? Where are you at?
Deep in Chicago.
You in the hood?
No, I'm like 45 minutes from Chicago. I'm in like
In the
I'm
burbs.
an acre. Yeah, it's like the country where I live right here.
Yeah, okay. So you've seen my backyard, and well, if you didn't watch the video yet, I mean, that was on the side of the house.
We're surrounded by corn at the moment.
Yeah, we got cornfields.
Is that like human corn or feed corn or?
Regular feed corn, grain. We got.
I don't like when they plant corn.
Yeah, I mean,
feel
usually it's
closed
either
in.
bean or it's corn, one or the other.
Or wheat.
Yeah, no, they've never done wheat. Well, no, they've done soybeans. Usually soybeans or corn.
They alternate.
Yeah, because the corn's really hard on the soil.
It's dirt.
It's soil. I was in Boag. Yeah, I'm educated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Dave G says Green Lake is a beautiful lake. It is. It's my favorite place in the world. I've traveled. I was in a band. I traveled around the country. I've seen a lot of places. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Mexico. I've been to 2 different places in Jamaica. I mean, I've traveled, you know.
I've heard bad things about Jamaica.
My favorite place is Green Lake, Wisconsin. And yep. That's where I will die.
Where'd you get your microphone at? I'm like really getting sick of the way this thing turns and does dumb stuff. Buy it off of Zach?
No.
I noticed you got it like shortly after he sold his. I wasn't sure.
Maybe sweet. No, I had it before Zach even had his.
Oh,
I think I got it at Sweetwater.
Have you ever been to Sweetwater?
No.
we live
It's
like an hour and a
amazing.
quarter from there.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just across the border.
Yeah. They're just over in Indiana. I live real close to 30. So, I mean, literally, that's why I say it's like we can be in Fort Wayne in what, an hour, not even barely an hour.
About an hour.
We're at the perfect location. I mean, we're right in between Dayton, Toledo, Fort Wayne.
Columbus.
You know, it's all real close. Oh,
I've been to recently. I haven't been to Guitar Center in a long time, and I was there. I'm like, man, this place changed a lot, and I feel like they've like really narrowed their selection of everything. You know?
everything's gone downhill, and the equipment, holy crap, the quality of it's went down, but they've added a lot of crap to it. As far as the prices have been kind of interesting. The things they've crammed into the powered speakers now have got all kinds of digital processing built into them. That's nuts.
Yeah, but some of the instruments, like I play bass guitar, and they used to have this huge section of bass guitars, and they started off at like $200 and went up to like several $1,000s, and now there's like a small little maybe 4 or 5 bass guitars at Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Wow. They actually have a humongous room at Sweetwater. It just goes on for days, it seems like, of nothing but bass guitars and amps, and you literally just grab one off the wall, plug in, and just have a go.
I got a picture of her in front of a Marshall stack that's probably 30 foot long.
And this thing was like probably what, 4,
maybe
Tall.
8 foot tall.
Really? And you could
Yeah.
play on it?
It was all the big cabinets.
well, I didn't play on it, but that's what they had there for Gear Fest, not this year, but the year before. That
Yeah,
was
we got
just
screwed on Gear
to
Fest.
do photos for. But yeah, like Sweetwater I love going to Sweetwater. It's just a lot of fun, and I mean, they have a electric guitar room. They have a acoustic guitar room. I mean, they've got a drum room, which I never go into.
The
'cause it's way
training
too loud.
seminars were pretty amazing
Oh
too.
yeah, it's just, and they even had, oh, who was that one bass player that you stayed at his Airbnb? He was even there at the One Gear Fest.
Was he? Yeah, because when I went to New York, I stayed in New Jersey, and just so happened that the person that owned the house I was staying at, he was the bass player for Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Hmm.
And then he gave me the name, and then Laura sends me a picture of him because he was featured on, what magazine was that?
Some
He's
big
featured
guitar
on
magazine.
Yeah, it was some big guitar magazine and stuff.
And he actually did his own signature bass line, like did his own signature bass. And he was married to
his wife sung backup with
Gwen Stefani. Was it Gwen Stefani? Or no, Pink. It was she was on
Yeah,
tour
Pink.
with Pink.
Yeah.
Supposedly, rumor has it, there's actually, I've heard this from multiple people when I was growing up, because my band started off practicing in my mom's garage in Oak Lawn. And one of the founding members of REO Speedwagon used to live in my house, and REO Speedwagon formed and practiced in my garage.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Gary Foote, wasn't that him?
Oh yeah, Gary Foote.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the guy. You said he was super nice too.
Oh yeah. Because just like Chicago, I mean, New York, I had this bad feeling about the place that it was going to get like killed and everything else, and we didn't had no clue where we were at. So I mean, me and my daughter.
Chicago, like I don't feel in. When you're not supposed to be somewhere that you're. If you're driving somewhere in Chicago and you're like, holy crap, I need to get the hell out of here right away. You need to leave. You know what I mean? If you don't have like chills where you're like, that guy's going to kill me right now, then you're probably okay for the most part.
Creepy.
I don't know. We had a guy from Carrier that did the training for the chiller stuff. And one of the trainers, God, did he get shot? I think he might have got shot, or they tried to mug him or something. And, I mean, I don't know. It's like how many people's going to die in Chicago this weekend? It's like anywhere from what?
Chicago is huge. Chicago is very large. Like you could, if you're in like rush hour traffic, you could take a couple hours to get from one side of Chicago to the other. So, like,
yeah. And you're not getting nowhere.
There's Chicago neighborhoods. Like, all right, so there's the guy in Lincoln Park that I've worked on this guy's house before. The guy who owns Johnson & Johnson. Okay.
Wow.
So he lives in Chicago. He's one of the probably richest, Fortune 500 companies. He's not scared. There is. Have you heard of what is it called? What is that? I'm trying to think of that Economist show with Steve Levitt and Steve Dunbar.
You ain't talking about Ramsey or nothing, are you?
No, but anyways, he lives in Hyde Park. There's like all these places in Chicago where it's like elite. You don't have to worry about it,
Oh, I don't worry about it. I mean, I was riding the subway in New York down there at freaking 1:30 in the morning, me and my kid. I mean, I felt safer there than my own hometown where bad things can happen. The only thing that sucks about Chicago is concealed carry ain't no good there. The place where you need it the most, they keep you disarmed. It just makes no sense.
I agree.
So, I mean, it is
Freakonomics is what I was trying to think of. Freakonomics.
It's bad. I mean, it's bad. That's what's going to happen if they ever end up trying to ban the gun stuff. So, well, where are we at here? We at probably 1 hour and 45 minutes.
I'm about ready to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah. My luck, I'll get a freaking call about the time you get everything ready to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden, ring, Progresso. Yeah, we got a call for you. Yeah, great. So
I gotta get my music together. I gotta get my guitar together because I gotta play guitar tomorrow.
You keep whispering, the gate's going to keep closing.
I wondered
on you.
why. No, I gotta get my guitar together. Gotta play that on one song tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got to run sound tomorrow. So I told him, I said, I'm on call. Last time I was on call on a Sunday, it got nuts. And I was like, I don't know, 8 hours, 9 hours out. It went from one grocery store to the other one, and it was all kinds of bad stuff. Now this week, I literally had just that one call. It makes no sense. Just weird. So we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. We're at 35 people. I'm really surprised.
Well, I saw someone in chat said apparently Zach had his HVAC show tonight too.
Whatever.
So I think that's because someone said that they were coming over because that show just ended. So they were coming over from there. So that's why I think. But we still had in the mid upper 40s. So, you know.
Maybe he wants to trade with you for Sunday.
I'd rather have Sunday. I mean, any day but Saturday. Saturday just seems like a bad time to do it.
It cuts into his writing time.
Yeah, I want to ride. I don't want to have to worry about stuff. It's Saturday. I mean, and then I'm bad about not having anything prepared. I mean, basically, I can talk
Does
about
it mean
anything.
You're going to be prepared on Sunday?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, if when I get like 60,000 people and I can't respond to them, because I mean, if you notice, I try to respond to everybody, whether it's just a short sentence or something. I try to respond to everybody that watches. And that way, if they respond to me, I try to respond to them. That way, they know I at least care enough to respond back to them. But I know eventually, if things get big, which, you know, I'm behind the times compared to some people, you know, it may be hard to eventually do that to all of them, but I do try to do it as quickly as they come in that way. But, you know, then at that point, that's when I'll be able to talk to them by the video about what it's about. Because like I said, the things I had, and it was mainly from the YouTube thing. I have never had any issues with Brian's group, because most of those people seem like they're there to want to learn and help each other. And then same thing with the overtime group. I've never had any issues out of them. But that HVAC hub, that I don't ever go in there, and I just happened to throw it in there because they had quite a few people, and it probably wasn't the best place to put it. So it's like, whatever.
You know, I gotta say, like I know you're trying to get out of here. I just want to say on Facebook, there's a lot of ruthless people in HVAC groups on Facebook. Ruthless people, and I say that like we just started this Facebook group relatively recent, you know, and it seems like everyone's very civil in our group. Nobody's like throwing like low blows or anything else, you know, which I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, what are they hoping to accomplish? I think let me see. I think I just screenshotted it earlier to make it easier. But I was reading it to her, and she's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, this is how assholes are in our field." I said, "This is just how they are, unfortunately." First thing the one guy said, hack service. I'm like, explain your reasoning. What would you done differently? Not been half the fins. One guy goes, he's a troll. I said, probably. And I'm like, well, if you get rid of that pedophile van and get a real service truck, you'd have plenty of room to stand the coil up and prevent it from being damaged. It's like, I have no control over what van I got.
Well, you know, you are 8 years older than me, so I guess maybe, does that make you a pedophile?
Well,
I don't know. Jury's out on that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but you know, like I told that person, I'm like, it's insecure, uneducated people like you that are my reasoning for trying to help the new guys out, because people like you just run your mouth and absolutely have no use to anyone. Hope you have a great day, Super Tech. Because I mean, it's like, I have no problem getting confrontational, but you know, what's the point? Why you got to be an asshole? It just makes no sense. What did you get accomplished by being that way? Did you feel better because of it? I mean, it's like, I'm willing to put it out there and show what I'm doing. I actually show the brazing, which, you know, most people won't. You look at their brazed joints and it's like soldering? Bird poop or something like that.
You mean the soldering?
Yeah, brazing, soldering, whatever.
I honestly, I don't think I would show brazing just because it's like such a
art.
Well, like, I don't know. I feel like there's people that are probably much better at brazing than me. I don't have leaks. But I also don't think what I do is you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
What I always do is like I go over the joint once and then I pull back the heat and I do what I call double capping, where I like lay a bridge around the ridge of the fitting.
Ring it. I think it's called ringing.
Ringing. I don't know if are you supposed to do that or not? Somebody told me you're not supposed to do that, but
I mean, the biggest thing, if you want to pass the brazing test, is to pull the braze into the joint all the way to the backside of the fitting that's going in there. So a lot of times what I'll do is I was real bad at it at first, hit your center conductor. I'm going to call it a conductor, but because it is conducting heat. And then I get that one hot, and then I'll lay some on top of it. So now you're transferring the heat from the center pipe to the outside bell housing. Once I've got that, now I've got flow. Then I'll sit there and drag the heat into the pocket. My dad was a welder, so I mean, it's kind of like I learned how to weld, and then the brazing kind of came right in with it. And it's kind of an art. I mean, and that's what's great about running the nitrogen, because you can take your time now, unless you're on a sensitive fitting. But I feel as though I do a fairly decent job at it. So I was like, whatever, I'll show it. And then, some people will come on there. Well, you got too strong of a flame, whatever.
I feel like anybody's going to, every single person's going to have their own method, their own opinion, and everybody's probably going to do it slightly different anyways. As long as it gets the job done, it looks good and it doesn't leak, and you're not creating a whole ton of nasty boogers inside. Then,
I mean, you know how hard it is to braze something that's been brazed. I mean, to get that filter dryer swapped around after it has been brazed, because not only do you have to heat the center pipe up, but you got to get the shell of the dryer and try not to overheat it, slide it in there, then refill it. I mean, that's a pain in the hind end.
Well, I think everyone knows what a good braze joint looks like, and everyone knows what a bad braze joint looks like. You have like the little like boogers and pimples and all that around the whole thing, and you might even have like square strips of braze rods sticking on the thing. I've seen that many times too. So, yeah. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Capping. Yeah, I think I've heard that. B Young capping. That might be it. What it's called too, capping. And then I freaking gave up trying to read. I don't even know what this computer's so misleading that
it's got the coronavirus.
This thing's a piece of crap. Literally, it needs to be. It's a good computer. I was making the videos with it just prior to switching to this one, but now that I've had this one, I mean, I've got this thing decked out, but it still don't do the editing as quickly as I want it to, unfortunately. I like Mac. I was like on the fence about it for a while, but I like my Mac. Yeah, they're so expensive, all the programs. You got to buy them.
But isn't it like the best for editing though, like videos and stuff like that?
Yeah, and like the processing speed. Like I had a decent computer and it was always lagging. It was like skipping and lagging and stuff like that. And the Mac, it's like doesn't miss a beat.
Oh, that's cool.
Because like the one that we're doing the show with right now, it's an iCore 7. It has a GTX 1600 dedicated video card. I got 16 gig of RAM. It's got a terabyte solid state, and then I have the other solid state drive that's faster than a solid state for the main hard drive, which is like 250 gig. I mean, the thing's decked, and yet it still takes, for a 11-minute video, it takes me, and depending on if transitions, I have a lot of transitions, or if I have words, or if I have like my logo at the bottom, all that crap can take it anywhere from 25 minutes to, 30 minutes possibly to process. It's supposed to be able to be done in less than like 1-to-1 ratio at the worst. And I don't know I think it's the program possibly. It's not as efficient as what, say, Adobe would be, but I don't know.
Well, Adam, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, as usual. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. It gives me something to bounce it off of, and it makes her happy that we did the show thing.
And thanks, Hughesman, for coming on. That was really awesome that you were able to come on as well.
Yeah, everyone out there that
thanks for
stuck around and stuff, I appreciate you guys viewing. If you want, throw your name out there or say hi. That way I kind of see who's actually out there. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up thing. It helps get the rankings up there a little bit. I know we got 30 of you right now so far. I appreciate you guys coming on here and just kind of hear us talk about whatever. And so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And,
Chloe's got to go potty outside.
Yeah, before she does it on the floor. So, But that wraps things up, guys. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Good night.